Hey, how's it going there? This is YattaMagnus playing the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch. Came out this year for a 35th anniversary type deal. They released, they being Nintendo, released a lot of cool Mario stuff this year. Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is going to have a limited run, so if you want to check it out, you're going to have to check it, get one while you can, while they're still being sold. But anyways, any different device I can find, if I can play Mario on it, one of the ways I gotta, feel good about owning that device is having played Mario and beaten Mario on it. It's like a Rubik's Cube sitting on someone's desk unsolved, I want to pick that crap up and solve it, If I see this thing laying on the coffee table or on the end table, or I find it in a jacket pocket and I'm like, oh yeah, Mario. And I bust it out and beat some Mario. So this is one of those games that I pretty much know like the back of my hand. And I mean, you can play through the entire 8 worlds and all the levels. I think there's 32 levels in the game. But if you play kind of the warping method, it ends up being, maybe like 6 or 7 levels worth of gameplay. And you just kind of, I don't want to say speed run, because I still trip up, I still die, I still get hit, you still got to go find the 1-ups and the coins and stuff. And along the way, there's a lot of fun things to do. So, I'll point a few of those out as we do them. But anyways, this Game & Watch, I picked it up for like $50, and it's supposed to resemble like the old Japanese Game & Watch Nintendo. Over in the US we seem to have more Tiger Electronics, and they would be like Tiger Electronics Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Disney cartoons or G.I. Joe or whatever. I remember I had a Simpsons one that the screen, it looks kind of like a calculator. Like the way the characters are, there's like a pre-rendered, like a painted background, and then the characters are on the screen kind of like a calculator. It's really weird with ink. And, you had up, down, left, right. You had, sometimes 4 buttons, but it seems like the buttons kind of all did the same thing, and usually they only did one thing. So, anyways, I remember having this Simpsons Tiger Electronics and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. This was before I had a Game Boy. So that at that point, maybe 1991, 1992, this Tiger Electronics was so cool to me. I remember thinking, when I die, I want to be holding this game so that I can take it up to heaven with me and play it up there. Pretty silly, but I was maybe like 6 or 7 years old. So anyways, this Game & Watch, this 35th anniversary dealio, the screen looks great. This recording really doesn't do it justice. It doesn't show up on the camera very well. It's kind of blurry. But yeah, man, look at how skinny it is. That little hole on the side was a speaker. So sometimes I cover it up with my left hand, my left finger there, and it muffles the sound, so I gotta kind of watch where I'm holding it. But yeah, this thing fits in your pocket pretty good. It's only, about the size of a smaller smartphone, like the old iPhones. But yeah, it's pretty good. But the screen looks surprisingly good, and it's about the size of the Apple AirPods, like the case for the AirPods. It's about that big. I'll hold it up and show you in a minute. But anyways, here's another one of the warps. So pay attention. Woo! All right. And there's something about Mario that I can't stress enough, but when you play, you always hold the run button. Always hold B. If you ever are not holding B, you're not playing the game right. The only time you don't hold B is when you're letting go to throw another fireball. Check out this bean pole dance. Getting these coins perfectly, oof, that makes me feel so good. I was going to point out at the beginning of this level, when I was trying to get under that little slidey area, there's a cool moonwalk trick that I can do, and it's pretty fun. I'll have to make a separate video where I show some like fun things to do in Mario Brothers. When next time you're visiting Super Mario Bros. For the original NES or the Game & Watch system, or Virtual Console on the Switch NES, or blah 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 blah. Any way you gotta play this game. Emulator, arcade, original NES, Mario All-Stars. This game exists in so many different forms on so many different consoles and hacked systems and cell phone emulators, and it's just it's like a rite of passage for me to load up Mario 1 on something. Anytime I buy a TV, I do the same thing. I play Mario on it. One of my bucket list items was to beat Mario 1 on a theater screen. And I did that back in high school. There was this TV studio, movie studio that we, Give Me Back My Son crew, we had access to, and we knew the dudes working there. And we kind of had free reign of this area, and one of the things that was set up was imagine like a studio room, like a big, I don't know how to describe how, like a school gym, basically, like a small school gym.
Oh man.
And we had there was a projector set up, there was a really good sound system, Stars, Antonio, Steve, you guys had a amazing setup. I loved it. We all loved it. It was the best. That has some of the best memories of growing up and being that teenage age and wanting to do cool film and editing and film production. Anyways, that theater room was set up like with couches in the middle. So if we were watching like a scary movie, you had all this empty space behind you as well as in front. Because you don't want to be on a couch all the way in the back of the room. We were kind of like in the middle of the room. And we would all go there, Give Me Back My Son crew and friends, whoever we, deemed worthy to come and check out this theater that we had. We would watch these movies, and man, some of the scariest times I've ever had watching a movie was in this theater.
Oh, dang it.
The Grudge in particular was one that I don't know if I've ever been so scared. I thought my heart was gonna stop while we were watching the movie. I had my girlfriend, who's now my wife, Celeste. I had her watching the movie with, and just, I'm clinging on to dear life, and she's clinging on to dear life, and I feel like the devil is going to come at us. It's like the scariest freaking ghost movie. Oh my gosh. Anyways, watching it in the Stars, we called it the Stars Theater. Watching it there made the movie like 10 times scarier than it actually is. Watching it now, it's like, it's not too bad. I mean, it still gets me, especially that shower scene. But where the hand comes out the back of her head or whatever, and anyways, I can't even think about that movie right now. But back to the subject of Mario. I wanted to. One of my bucket list items was to play Mario and beat Mario on a theater screen, and that's where I gotta check that off my list. So it was a grand old time. I had this weird Nintendo 64 shaped emulator of classic video games. My stepdad bought it for me, and you just plug it in with the AV, yellow, white, and red you plug them into the top of the Nintendo 64 controller, and then the other side plugs right into the, the TV or the projector system or whatever. And I borrowed, or I ended up playing that game and beating it with that weird Nintendo 64 controller. So, anyways, I actually should legit do it sometime with like a NES controller on a real NES in a theater somehow. I just don't know if there's like, if you rent out a movie theater these days, if there's a possibility of, retro rigging some sort of NES, to convert to whatever they project on the screen. I'm sure that kind of stuff exists, but yeah, maybe I can make that the new bucket list, is do it on a real NES in a theater. So why not? I know that one of my biggest goals was to have Mario be human-sized, and it was pretty close when he had the mushroom and was on the theater screen projected. He was maybe about 4 feet tall, I would guess. So maybe 3 feet. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah. Anyways, I think one of the only complaints I have about this Game & Watch system is the buttons they're not hard plastic. They're kind of like this rubber, and I would rather have had hard plastic, kind of like the D-pad. Like if the buttons had been made out of kind of a similar, plastic as the D-pad, I would have loved that. Or just the same as how the Nintendo controller was, the NES, those red buttons. But anyways, one of the main reasons why I'm really looking forward to having this thing is that in the future, I guarantee that there's going to be a method for adding my own games to this. And pretty much the idea of having like a little mobile NES/Game Boy library, because it only has the 2 buttons, would be awesome. Like, playing Contra on this thing, just turning it on and playing some Contra real quick. Or, obviously Mario 1, 2, 3,
go.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Freaking heck yeah, dude. Like, I really am looking forward to the future of this little console of mine. Alright, this is Game Point, guys. If you get here with a fireball or a mushroom, you're pretty much set. If you can kill that hammer brother, you just run through here, you can get hit, and you can, boom, hit the axe, and there you go. You killed Bowser. Fantastic, Merry Christmas, awesome, super happy fun time, Yatta. So, anyways, this is the end screen, and yeah, it's just really satisfying to do a playthrough of Mario, which I can generally do in about, between 10 to 15 minutes. Here's that whatever these things are, AirPod case. So there you go, check it out. There's the sound hole. Listen to this. Woo woo. Alright, thanks for hanging out and watch me beat that game. Peace, yo.
Give me back my son!